Hey girls, it's Wednesday.
Muda, Brenda, Jessica, Susan, Scarlett, Bula papira papa, scrata da dee da da da. Collab of awesome.
So I'm going to share my favorite myths with y'all today. It's originated here in COA. There was once a girl named Brenda, and she told all her friends she went to the woods. When in fact, we all know she was lying. Just kidding, Scarlett. I'm not going to steal your thunder. So the real story I'm going to share with y'all today is one of my favorite myths when I was younger. It's about Demeter, Persephone, and Hades. Now I don't remember if these are their Greek names or Norse names or whatever mythological names. I just remember these names for gods and goddesses. So Demeter was the goddess of earth and, the harvest and growth and everything, and she had a daughter named Persephone. Now Demeter is one of the 12 Olympian gods and goddesses, but she wasn't often recognized and worshipped, so people still consider her one of the minor goddesses, but no, that's not really that important. But she was sister to Zeus and sister to Hades, and her daughter Persephone was also over harvest and all that stuff and the growth of grain, and she would love to play in the fields and pick flowers and all that fun stuff that girls like to do. Demeter wasn't keeping a close eye on Persephone one day because Persephone was pretty grown by this time, so Persephone just was picking flowers and stuff, and she saw one that caught her eye, so she bent down to pick it, and the earth split open and Hades abducted her. You see, Hades had his eye on her for quite a while. He had been in the underworld and just been watching her, and he fell madly in love, and he wanted this girl for himself because he was greedy and he's Hades. So yeah, so he decided to take matters in his own hands, steal her down, and of course Demeter was heartbroken because it was her only daughter. She loved her to death. She went to Zeus for help. Zeus didn't want to cause conflict with his brother Hades because that would be really bad. Pardon my high school version of this. You can tell I'm in AP English. Zeus didn't want to cause conflict, so he told Demeter, no, I'm not going to help you with this. Something along those lines. I haven't read this myth since about 7th grade. I apologize. Hades refused to let Persephone go, and I'm not sure if y'all have heard this one, but he got the pomegranate seeds, food of the underworld, and he offered them to her. She decided to eat one, because even though she was depressed, he managed to convince her to eat a pomegranate seed. Once you eat the food of the underworld, you have to stay there. So she ate one, and that meant that she was trapped there, and she was stuck there for eternity. So of course this made Demeter even more upset, and she refused to grow anything on earth. She refused to nourish it, and everything started dying, which meant no worship stuff for Zeus. So of course this upset Zeus. So I'm not exactly sure how he did it. As I told you, I haven't read this in a long time, but he came up with an agreement with Hades. Persephone would spend 6 months in the underworld and 6 months back on Earth with her mother, Demeter. This is where we get the origin of the seasons from. Spring and summer, when everything's growing and thriving, those are the months where Persephone is with her mother, Demeter. And fall and winter, where everything's dying and cold and not pretty, I guess. That's when she's with Hades. So I always like that story. I don't know why. It was just one of my favorites. I think it's just because in elementary school I did a project on Demeter, and whenever I had to do mythology stuff, I just always do her. So it's probably the myth I'm most familiar with. But I just like it a lot. I don't know. It's a good one. I don't really agree. I think I like winter and fall better than I like spring and summer. But maybe that's just me. Actually, I like fall and spring the best, but So that's my favorite myth. I hope y'all enjoyed that little mythological education time. So yeah, Susan, I'm excited to hear what you tell us tomorrow. And girls, have a good week. I'm gonna go do college applications and do homework and stuff. So adios.